Hey guys, it's Riley here with Wandering Willow Farms, and today I'm really excited to show you guys some of these trees that just got delivered. But before we do that, I do want to mention a couple things. So these trees are going to be available by appointment only up until we open for the regular season opening. So only the trees will be available. There won't be any other plants like the regular perennials and annuals that we usually have. So if you're interested in the trees, you can contact me through Facebook or send me an email and we can set up an appointment for you to come look at these trees. I will also send you a price list, a page that has all the prices and the variety names so you know what to expect before you come out here. And I think that covers it. So let's go ahead and look at some of these trees here. So I guess we'll start with this row here. So the very first one we have here, this is an Autumn Brilliant Service Berry. And this is actually one of my favorite trees. They produce edible berries, they have good fall color, and they do bloom in the spring, so they have kind of three great interest points there. They grow to be 20 feet tall and 15 feet high. These are in 5-gallon containers right now, and they're probably roughly 6 feet tall. They have really nice branching on them. All of these are going to be single stem trees. You can usually buy service berries as single stem or multi-stems. But all of these are going to be single stems, and there is 3 of these available. Next up is the Snow Cloud Serviceberry, and there is 3 of these as well, and these ones are in 7-gallon containers. And these ones are a little bit larger than the Autumn Brilliant, so they'll grow up to 28 feet in height, and they will get 20 feet wide. And service berries are pretty fast-growing trees, so they're a good one if you're wanting something that's going to fill in quickly. These are a great choice for you. And again, they have kind of the same characteristics, just a little bit larger size. Next up, I have some birch trees. First one is going to be the Royal Frost Birch, and these ones are one of my favorites. I had a few of these last year and they were pretty popular last year. These grow up to 40 feet tall and 25 feet wide. But what's really cool about the Royal Frost Birch is it has really dark purple leaves, and so that adds some nice color to your landscape. And finding a tree that's going to be this size that has that dark color, that's kind of tough to find. And then also older trees do get kind of a whitish bark, which kind of adds to the appeal and that nice purple and white contrast. I think that is really pleasing to look at. These are in 7-gallon containers. I can't remember if I said that already or not. And these are probably 7 or 8 feet tall. So a nice sized tree to start with. I also have 2 Renaissance Reflection birches. They're on the other side, so I'm not going to pull them out, but they're roughly the same size, but maybe just a little bit taller than the Royal Frost were. But the Renaissance Reflection has good fall color, and they're a little bit larger. They grow up to 50 feet tall and 25 feet wide, and they have the dark green leaves like you typically would see on a birch tree. So if you like birches but you want to stick to something green, that would be a good option for you versus the Royal Frost. Now we'll move to this side here. I have the Canada Red Improved Chokecherry. These are also in 7-gallon containers, and they're again probably about 6-7 feet tall. And these are a really great tree. They do really well in our area. They can handle our harsh conditions really well. This is a smaller tree growing 25 feet tall to 20 feet wide. And the leaves on this one do come out green and then they turn darker through the season. These do have small white flowers too. So you get the color of the leaves and then you also get some blooming interest as well. So that's kind of a nice thing about this tree. And these are 7-gallon containers, if I didn't already mention that. And let's see, there is 5 of those. Next up is going to be the Sterling Lindens. These are in 5-gallon containers, and these ones will grow 45 feet tall by 35 feet wide. And these trees, I'm 5'11", so you can see they're in a pot right here, and they're just a little bit shorter than I am, so they're probably going to be about 5 feet tall when you have them in the ground. But linden trees are a good one that gets pretty large. and they have a really nice presence in the landscape, in my opinion. So there's 3 of the sterling lindens, and then if you're looking for something a little bit larger, I do have a Corinthian linden that's probably 9 or 10 feet tall, it would be my guess. It's in a 15-gallon container, and those get 45 feet tall, but they only have a spread of 15 feet, so they're kind of tall and narrow. And there's only 1 of those available, so if you are interested in starting out with a larger tree and you want the Corinthian linden, keep in mind there is only 1. Next up is the presidential gold ginkgo, and ginkgo trees I think are super awesome. They have really unique leaf shape, and they also have brilliant fall color. So they turn like a really nice shade of yellow. This is another fairly large tree, growing 50 feet tall by 40 feet wide. And this variety is a seedless variety. Some of the ginkgos, the female trees, they can make kind of a mess, so it's kind of nice to have the seedless variety that's not going to make a huge mess like that for you. There's only 2 of these available, and they are in 7-gallon containers, and they are probably about 8 feet tall. All right, and then moving all the way to the back, I'm not going to be able to move these for you because they are in really big pots. These are Sensation box elders. They're another tree that does super well in our area. They're actually part of the maple family, but these are a little bit tougher and hardier than I would say most maples are, and they're one that's proven to do super well in our area. These also have good fall color like maples do. These trees will grow to 30 feet tall by 25 feet wide, and these are in 25-gallon containers. There is 3 of them here, and they're pretty tall trees. I'm gonna guess they're about 10 feet tall. They have a pretty good start on them, so if you're looking for a larger tree to start with, these would be a good one for you. Okay, I'm just gonna pull out this Corinthian linden that I talked about earlier so you can see it. It's nice, healthy tree, nice straight trunk, good branching. In the back here, we have Paul's Scarlet Hawthorn. These are a flowering tree, and they have really nice pink flowers. This is another smaller tree growing to 22 feet tall with a 20-foot spread. They have kind of a nice rounded shape when they're mature. This is another one that you've probably seen these growing in our area, even if you didn't recognize them. They're pretty popular, so they're a good choice for a flowering tree if that's what you're looking for. And they are not gonna produce a bunch of fruit like crab apples. They will produce a few, but they're pretty sparse. But if you want something that's gonna have that color, but you're tired of dealing with crab apples, that would be a good choice for you. And then another flowering tree over here. These are in 10 gallons. This is the golden rain tree, and these bloom in the summer. So if you're looking for some color interest later in the year, a lot of trees that flower do bloom in the spring. These bloom more later. These grow 30 feet tall by 30 feet wide. They're a fairly round shaped tree. The flowers on these are going to be yellow, so I think they're a really stunning tree. They're probably one of my favorites. They do pretty well here as well. They do have some fall color. It's not super intense, but it is, you know, not just another tree that's going to have brown leaves or whatever. There is 4 of these. There's 3 that are a little bit taller. They're probably in the 7-foot range, and then there's probably one that's about 6 foot tall. But they all have pretty nice branching as well. And that covers this row, so let's move on over to the next. So on this side we have the maples. In the 7 gallons, I have the red point maple. These are another one that does pretty well in our area. Let's see. These ones will grow 45 feet tall by 30 feet wide. They have the brilliant red fall color. I think probably everyone's familiar with maples. They're known for having excellent fall color. So if you're looking for fall color, you really can't go wrong with a maple. One thing I will say is that maples in our area can be prone to chlorosis. So if you do go ahead and choose a maple, just be prepared to give iron treatments. That's generally going to be required just because they don't love the high pH of our soil. I also have some 5 gallons if you want to start with something a little bit smaller and more budget friendly. This variety is going to be October Glory. These ones will grow 40 feet tall with a 35-foot spread. And again, they have the nice, brilliant red fall color. Kind of the same issues, broken branch there. The same issues for all maples. So just be aware of the chlorosis issue. It's not a big deal if you treat it. And then we'll go ahead and move over to this row. These are northern catalpa trees here. These are in 7 gallons. These get to be fairly large, a 50-foot tall and a 35-foot spread. They do have really pretty flowers. They have really large leaves as well. I think the large leaves are pretty cool. For some reason, I'm just kind of drawn to the larger leaves. They do bloom. They have pretty large white flowers, and they're kind of unique amongst most other flowering trees. So I think these are really cool and a nice standout tree to have. These are also pretty drought tolerant, and they're tolerant of high heat as well. So that makes them a great choice for our area. One thing to keep in mind is they can have weak branches, so if you're planting them somewhere in a busy area, just kind of keep that in mind, that they are known to have weak branches. So in a windstorm, you may have to go and pick up branches afterwards, but for the most part, it's a pretty awesome tree that I think is a great one. Next up, this is a Skyline honey locust. These are a seedless variety, so you're not going to have seed pods all over, which some people don't really like with the honey locust. Plus, they can kind of spread, and that's kind of annoying to deal with, I know. They will grow to 45 feet tall with a spread of about 35 feet. And if you've probably have seen honey locusts, but if you're not familiar, they have kind of the finer textured leaves. So if you want some texture in your trees, this is a good choice. And I have the sunbursts in 5 gallons. And the sunbursts have kind of a yellowish or a light green leaf color. So if you're looking for something different than the regular dark green leaves, this would be a good choice for you. These will grow to 40 feet tall with 35-foot spread. And this is also another seedless variety, so that is great. Lastly, I do have 2 Ruby Falls Weeping Red buds. They're bald and burlapped, so they are pretty heavy trees. They are about 6 feet tall right now, so they're pretty close to their mature size. They have really nice branching on them. I will show you those. Okay, so I think that pretty well covers it. I will say that a lot of these trees were in a video that Laura from Garden Answer has done. If you're not familiar with Laura, she is from Ontario, and her family owns Andrews Seed. So she has a lot of first-hand experience with a lot of these trees, and she's done a video on them. So I will link that video so you guys can watch that if you're looking for some more information. But like I said, a lot of these are trees that are proven to do well in our area, which is always a plus, because you probably are aware our conditions can be a little challenging. So sometimes some things that are really beautiful just don't work out very well in our area. If one of these trees caught your eye, I would encourage you to go ahead and do your own research. I think with trees especially, it's important to do your research so you know what you're getting into, because ideally your tree is going to last a lifetime, and spacing and where you plant it and all that stuff is, I think, especially important with trees, because once you have them planted and they're growing, it is kind of a big deal to move them or pull them out or whatever. If you would like to come out and look at some trees, please get a hold of me and I will be happy to get you set up. And I think that covers it. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.